Hey everybody, this is Gina Hendrickson, and I want to welcome you to episode 6 of Soulful Summer Rhythms, where August is a month for some chill time. I'd like to explore today the meaning and practice of mindfulness. This is something that is talked about in lots of different ways. My grandma used to say to me, "Gina, be mindful of your manners," right before we entered her weekly volunteer time at the thrift store, where she would sort donations with other women of the church, while I quietly read a book in the corner. Ever mindful that my grandma had the eyes of a hawk and clearly had the gift of mind reading for whenever I got bored and was ready to disappear among all the treasures in that shop. My college professor would say, "Class, be mindful of all your assignments. Our midterm is in 2 weeks." And I was mindful that it meant I now had 13 days to keep enjoying myself before I had to burn the midnight oil and cram for that exam. Different meanings or interpretations of mindfulness, I dare say. Mindfulness means intentionally being aware of something. My grandma wanted me to intentionally stay out of trouble while she was working. My professor wanted me to keep up with assignments so I could actually learn something and do well in the class and life. Both these requests for mindfulness were ways that someone was trying to help me make good decisions when I had the freedom to mind my manners or not, to study and do my work in college or not. You know, the older we get, the more responsibilities we have to be mindful of what we're doing or saying or giving our attention to each and every day. Now, I think this is just so important to consider as we continue to reflect this month on soulful summer rhythms that help us live balanced, wholehearted lives. Now, I've done some research, and a more detailed definition of mindfulness is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment, while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. Mindfulness can be used as a daily spiritual practice or as a sustained therapeutic technique. But for us today, I want to think of ways of focusing our attention, our awareness on the present moment. And as I've talked about in earlier podcasts, this is not an easy task due to the hectic, crazy pace of our lives. Yet a soulful, healthy rhythm of life demands it. There are people who can remind us and who draw us into a time of mindfulness, but there are other practices that can do the same thing. Because, I know I need to be reminded to slow down, to stop taking in the information overload that assails me 24/7 on all the news feeds and e-devices and tablets I have, to stop worrying about tomorrow when there is enough worry for today, right now. To pause in the moment and focus on the now. To slow the breath, to put down the phone, and calmly acknowledge and accept all my feelings, my thoughts that are coming at this very moment, and being alive to all my bodily sensations, what my 5 senses are telling me or trying to tell me, if I'm listening and paying attention enough. Right? That's mindfulness. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk, peace activist, poet, and teacher, is known as the father of mindfulness. In the Buddhist community of Plum Village, he would periodically ring a mindfulness bell. This became one way that Thich Nhat Hanh would help remind all of this important practice. So upon hearing the bell, everyone stops and takes 3 silent, mindful breaths. Let's do that right now. Then they are free to continue their work, awakened ever so slightly by the soulful pause of mindfulness. How cool is that? We can choose anything to stop us like this. The phone ringing, a stoplight when we're driving, whenever our hand touches a doorknob, before we eat or drink. It can be that simple. So I want to invite you to join with me this week and choose one everyday ordinary act during your day to serve as a mindful and soulful pause. Now, whenever this arises, whenever you touch a doorknob or hear the phone, simply stop. Take 3 silent, mindful breaths, and then go through the door or answer the phone. Pay attention and see how it changes you. I know it's made a world of difference for me. Let's be mindful of these tiny, soulful moments to chill every day. May the week ahead be filled with many blessings.